Grayskull.
We good. We doing bona fide intros.
Yeah, Bear, you want to give us one, man?
I'll give it a shot, man.
What kind of intro y'all looking for?
You the DJ, yo.
Man, y'all checking out the mighty Grayskull crew. We got guests in the house. Hip Hop Digest show. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, purchase. Everybody got shirts. Y'all need some Hip Hop Digest shirts. Get the hiphopdigest.com. Holla at E Green. Shoot, we might be able to draw you a Grayskull shirt. Now we kind of under the weather a little bit. She got the press ons. We can still get you a Grayskull shirt. We good. I forgot about that.
Here we go.
Press on.
But anyway, like I was saying, since we got fresh opinions, they wasn't privy to the conversation earlier. So the question or the debate, the topic was we was trying to figure out the criteria or the differences between a side dude / hype man versus a bona fide rhyme partner in a hip hop group or duo or even trio, hell. So basically what we saying is, you go off. It's Flavor Flav. You calling him a side dude or a hype man. Who else did I name? Sendog.
Who's definitely a rhyme partner. He's not a fucking hype man.
Yeah, we're not allowed to answer.
I would agree with that. Sendog, he wasn't as popular as Be Real, but he did hold his own.
Okay.
Yeah, shit. I got to pull.
Fife came up.
Too Big MC is a hype man.
Oh, not already.
See, here go the flames already. I was trying to warm it up, but you didn't throw it out there. Nah. So,
Fife?
Yeah, he's saying Fife.
Come on.
Some of the names.
No, Fife wasn't the nicest, but I like Fife. And Fife was actually holding his own. And Fife had some quotables out here that niggas are still saying.
See,
Fife album one, I might go with hype man. After album one, Fife was definitely a part.
Yeah.
See, I'm always the odd man out on that one. I love Fife. No disrespect to Fife. Rest in power. All that. But
I feel like Fife is as much of a hype man as Prince Poe was to Organized Confusion. Like, not at all. Like, he might not have been your cup of tea, but he was just as much of an MC as Q-Tip was.
To get at you, Prince Poe. Gosh, nigga,
I'm confused. I'm a little confused.
Uh-oh.
I'm a little confused. Somebody, I always talk about Jerobi.
Oh damn, not Jerobi.
No, I'm just saying. Wait a minute. Come on. I'm really confused here.
Oh,
sorry.
The hype man you guys are naming ain't really hype man.
Right? Exactly.
That's what I was saying. So what are we doing with the criteria? What do we call
the guy from Lost Boys? You can name him as a hype man.
Right.
Freaky Ty. I
Rest in peace to him.
I named Freaky
Right.
Ty.
all right. Well, he named
Spliff
Flav.
Star came up.
Spliff Star, right?
I feel like I've
I
been
can call Spliff Star more of a hype man, Spliff Star, because he had a couple songs he was on, but yeah, he more.
This was ass. Though.
Tell him how you really feel, my nigga. Real wet tissue.
Well, I got one, but I don't think anybody heard me.
What you got?
So I know MC Hammer was his own hype man, but what do we call Too Big MC?
Hype man.
man.
Big was
We don't.
definitely hype man.
You don't call that nigga, huh? 1-900 Hammer.
Lose that number.
Oh, man.
Let that number go. But somebody brought up Big Boy from Outkast. That was an interesting.
Oh hell no.
Oh,
Hell
Yeah,
no.
I ain't get in. See, I was driving when y'all brought up Big Boy.
I didn't bring him up. I ain't bring him up. I'm not
Who
owning
was it? Tone. Tone was throwing some crazy stuff out there. Like Tone was wild.
Ain't no fucking way.
Oh, you want to go ahead and say who Tone named and almost got fired off on?
Oh man.
I don't want to rehash it at all, personally.
I don't know if y'all know, but Sheed's favorite group is De La.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, y'all know it. So my man Tone put out True Glory. And Irv, you know Tone from from the satellite.
Oh yeah, that nigga. He
Yeah.
off the show now.
Yeah, he said he backpedaled and he said he was tripping, but he kind of slipped and stepped on that third rail for a minute. Luckily, it was before she jumped on the line.
Yeah, I ain't see it in time, yo. It's probably a good thing, yo. They had me over there smoking cigarettes.
All I did was cover my eyes because I knew it was coming. Because ain't no fucking way.
True boy. What?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that definitely ain't working.
I don't know what the criteria would be, but actually I was thinking I seen Mobb Deep enough that Big Noid sometimes to me was be seen as a hype man, but I thought Big Noid was a credible MC itself.
Oh, yeah,
But-
Big Noid got a couple joints that I like.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's on Mobb Deep shows. Noid was the hype man.
I'll say this: I like Big Noid's first solo album more than I've liked any Fife album. No disrespect again to Fife.
That's true. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I would agree. I would agree.
I know Professor Griff had an album or two,
Oh,
but
come
isn't
on.
he a hype man?
Griff, come on, F1W,
That's actually a good
S1.
question.
Come on.
Griff is in charge of security.
Yeah,
man.
that's
You know
exactly.
He made an album though.
And you might want to be careful how you answer this. He might fold your ass up if he sees you.
I know, right?
No, I don't want no trouble. I learned about causing trouble on the joint show. I'm leaving that to Q from now on. Had me backpedaling and retracting my words and
That's
Wow.
in position, man. But
On the spot fact check, huh?
yeah.
So with that being said, though, we don't want no smoke with you, Hammer. We good.
Oh,
shut the fuck up.
Wow.
Nah, that was the what was the people name? Search and
Third base.
Third base, yeah.
Y'all gonna leave Stanley alone now.
Yeah, he got that action.
I don't have no problem with that, yo.
You better just
I
keep your
actually
wings
heard
off
he
the
put
left
us on an
coast.
incredible show.
But hey, man,
Was
I
that
don't know if we're done with the Hype Man show, but I know I did want to make sure that since y'all said y'all time is short, that we got a chance to give y'all a genuine, heartfelt thank you for playing such a big role in us coming together. There would be no GRYSKLL if there wasn't a Hip Hop Digest show. And that's
Word.
serious. All of us met through being listeners and fans of the show and jumping on the text chain. Y'all have taught us all a lot and helped us kind of really develop a stronger love for the community of hip hop. And I just want to make sure we gave y'all a heartfelt thank you and showed y'all some appreciation for it out loud, man, and live. For sure.
I really appreciate that, but every time I hear shit like that, it just like trips me out. Cause it's like we just friends, we family, more than friends. We like family here, just doing something that we like to do. We did this shit for years before we had a Hip Hop Digest show. We did this, just talked about hip hop. And it's like we just sitting on here talking bullshit and talking, grabbing up topics and shit, and people listening to us and thinking that we somebody. I guess it's like somebody in your family that makes it big. Your little brother, become a billionaire. Be like, that's still that little nigga. I'm gonna fuck everybody else love that nigga. You're a billionaire, but fuck that nigga. I still beat his ass.
It's hilarious.
Oh man.
But
Yo,
now,
Herb, I just want to make sure you're not taking a shot at me with that shirt. And I think Killer got the hat on too. I just want to make sure I'm not supposed to feel a certain kind of way.
Oh, you are a
Can I kill
Cowboy
my
fan.
feelings real quick?
It's not that serious, bro. It's just
Okay, all right. I mean, that was kind of how we met. So I just making sure, like, subconsciously, it might have been there. You may not even thought about it, but subconsciously.
no. You are to me an acceptable Dallas Cowboy fan. I know a whole bunch of them that are not, but I know you love football. They just happen to be your squad, so I respect.
Fair enough.
that was amicable.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
It's
no
usually
doubt.
when you talk about Cowboy fans, shit gets ugly.
Yeah.
He's not one of them though.
Cowboy fans are
Oh,
hostile.
he's not one of them.
I don't
You
know
one of
if
the
they
good
hide
ones,
one.
G.
Yo, real talk. That's how Irv and I. That was kind of one of the first discussions Irv and I had. Though, it's like we was doing a table read for something, and I think he had on like some Eagle shit, and it kind of jumped off from there. But yeah, so that was.
Hip hop keeps us together.
Some medicine.
So what about- So my question, what about MCs like you have? I've seen KRS-One enough times, and Fat Joe has been his hype man on most of the occasions. It's Fat Joe, but KRS-One is MCing I've seen him twice at free New York City Park concerts, and each time Fat Joe was his hype man. This is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you can disparage being a hype man. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
we didn't know if you was saying hype man is like some bullshit. That's just a weed carrier, nigga.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I got love and respect for most of the hype men in the hip hop community, man.
Oh, okay.
Like when I was saying Phife, even then I wasn't saying he's anything to disparage the man himself and his rhyme skills or him as a man. It's just that he doesn't seem like the front man. He doesn't seem like front man material for me. That's all. And the same.
Oh.
And I know there's an audience that completely disagrees with me. As a matter of fact, I just learned last year that damn near everybody in the crew likes Phife more than they like Tip. I thought it was general public's consensus that Tip was the better MC. I had to find out the hard way that I was wrong on that. And I'm the same way when it comes to Big Boy. I'm not a fan of his rhymes, but I don't think anything's wrong with his rhymes. They just don't speak to me. So I don't think of him as a a frontman MC. But a lot of people argue me down about that too.
So when it comes to Big Boy though, I think like for me, I thought the same way. And then I went back and listened to their catalog and I was like, hold up, this motherfucker's no slouch at all. He actually carried some of the songs. So, but that's just my opinion.
I was listening to Southern Playalistic on the way home today. Shit.
I think Big Boy goes off and he just doesn't get he doesn't get the credit because he doesn't have that quirky or like Andre sounds different. Like there's something about the way that he sounds that makes him stand out more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like whereas Big Boy sounds like just kind of a typical dude. Andre has a different twang. He has a weird voice. Like there's something different about him that makes him stand out more. Same kind of with Tip. Like Q-Tip had a weird high pitched voice that we weren't used to. You know what I'm saying? So it made him stand out.
Too. But Phife was in that same boat.
Phife was he just had a deep raspy voice, or I wouldn't even call it deep really. He was just raspy though, but he wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It was deeper than a lot of motherfuckers, but.
His voice was special as hell to me, man. I love Phife's voice. It's just his rhymes just weren't. I'm more into more technical rhymes, and I guess I didn't hear technicality in his rhymes. His rhymes were fun, and they were good for the moment. Make people smile and laugh and do their thing, but they just didn't challenge me mentally.
Q-Tip challenged you mentally?
Well, some of the ways that he chose to put things together and phrases some of his concepts, yeah. Titles.
Okay. I think we already had this conversation earlier in the year, but I was always annoyed by the fact that he called himself the Abstract, and I've always been trying to hear where the fuck are you Abstract? Anyway, we're not gonna go there.
yeah, he sounds angry.
Yeah. Hence the name.
Angry Black.
Right, here we go. Before we got to put out a disclaimer, world apology to Q-Tip, man.
Somebody call me.
Oh, that ain't happening though.
I think the differences you guys describe are what makes these particular groups great, because you do have two different individuals and they fill the void. In some groups, there is an individual who is going to be alpha's maybe too strong of a word, but that lead person. And all the people in Wu-Tang, but you knew it was Method, or just like you knew it was Buster. So when you describe like different individuals, most groups, when you have a group of individuals who are pretty much the same thing, those guys, I mean, they're there. That's why most of the leaders of the new school kind of fell away, because they were the same guy, but Buster was the individual. And you talk about Q-Tip and Phife is the everyman. The things he rhymed about was the things that the everyman would dream about, as far as that sports and, the way he viewed, women or getting that type of thing. Tip was that nerd, I guess, that B-boy. I mean, he was the guy who collected the records and produced beats. So, I mean, that's my 2 cents on it. I don't know. Hype man. That's a whole different. Yeah, I mean, hype man is the neighborhood guy you bring on tour. I mean, I'm thinking hype man was who's the guy who's with LL Cool J early in his career. I can't think of his name.
Damn.
Remember, dude, I can see his face.
Yeah, you way back. Yeah, no, that's Bobcat or somebody, but that's DJ.
No,
DJ.
DJ.
Yeah. That was
Damn.
mine for me too. But I
Yeah.
think you're right, King. That you actually hit that your point about Fife. It is kind of the same as being the everyman. I think it's also the same thing about Big Boy. The appeal for Big Boy is he's kind of the everyman, whereas Andre is more the nerd,
Yes, exactly.
And that's probably why I speak to them, because I'm also that nerd geek dude who's into that weird shit, that crazy ass space shit that they'll never make no sense. That P said on the first Mobb Deep album. That's the shit that I love. So I can see how that would make sense.
But doesn't that happen with all groups? I mean, if you might have mentioned Naughty by Nature, but you know, obviously, do we agree that Tretch was like the lead? The lead,
of course, yes, of course.
So does that make Vin Rock a hype man or a co-rhymer?
He wasn't a hype man.
I don't know.
Ben Rock has some lines. Ben Rock has some things, but I wouldn't put him as a hype man. But he's probably damn near on the ledge. He's on the ledge. He's on the ledge. But I wouldn't call him a hype man.
And we're gonna have your sound, Damon, if you're saying something. I see your lips, but we're gonna have your sound.
Okay, thanks.
There you go.
There you go. And also EPMD, who's the lead?
Eric.
But I don't think there's any question about both of them being like. I don't think you call either one of them hype men.
I don't know. Well, not hype man. I think this whole thing about hype man, I think we already proved that this is the wrong term.
Are we saying Eric was a better MC than Parrish? Are we really saying that?
Parrish was a better MC.
But we're not talking about better MCs. Better MC doesn't necessarily equate, or the less for the two MCs doesn't equate to you being a hype man, does it?
Possibly.
I mean,
and for my dollar, yeah, I thought Eric was the better MC.
Wow.
I liked Eric's style better because it was more like offbeat, sound like a little slow, a little more slower. But I definitely thought that P had the better lyrics on his shit.
I think.
Did anybody buy the PMD album?
The last one?
Yes.
Yeah, actually.
Yes, I had the PMD. Yeah.
Well, y'all gonna have to rip me a copy because I ain't got that.
EPMD is an interesting study in hype man because all future stars from that camp were their hype man. Redman was a hype man for them. Keith Murray was a hype man for them. Das Effects was a hype man for EPMD. So that was a proving ground to come up through that particular squad.
They had one of the best DJs.
Jay Scratch.
Yeah. And it's the last thing I'm gonna say. Then I'm gonna let it go because I don't want to hijack the joint. But damn, that quick, I forgot. It was another group. Is Method Man and Redman a group?
I think that's just individuals that got together to do something. Now, if they did like maybe 4 or 5 albums together, them niggas is a group.
Okay.
They worked really well as a group. Sorry, go ahead, Damon.
They did.
I think it was a failed experiment.
Failed.
Failed.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, shit.
Explain yourself, brother.
It was
failed?
No.
Yeah, it was a failed experiment. I mean, they had the TV show going on with it, the movie. I think it was a good swing at the wrong time. It took too long to build that up. Like you were saying, Meth was the lead and Red was the lead for himself. It was bad timing. Because, I mean, I don't know, did y'all listen to the Black Album?
Was it bad timing or was it just bad beat selection? I think it was a problem.
I was about to go into there because it sounded like a rush project. You know what I'm saying? Besides like 1 or 2 cuts that they really kind of were grooved on. Yeah, I think it was a failed experiment. That's just mine. And I wanted to add this what I was trying to say. Vin Rock from Naughty by Nature would credit himself as a hype man because he enjoys being a hype man and having a few verses. Now, Fife, that's MC and MC. You know what I'm saying? Q gonna leave his wallet in El Segundo and rap about it and put it in song. But like Killer said, Fife is more, everyday man. Big Boy, those are 2 MCs, man. Put them together, make peanut butter and jelly. That's my piece.
They complemented each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just like Prince Poe and Pharoah Monch, they complemented each other. Whereas Prince Poe was the everyman, so to speak, and Monch was the nerd.
Yeah.
I mean, Poe was closer to nerd than every man, but like it was clear that March was just on some other planet all the time.
Now,
Like,
what do you say? What do you say to Das Effects?
I don't think anybody knew the MCs, one MC from the other for the most part, rhyme wise. That
I can't say that. I do.
if I asked y'all to tell me a Dre rhyme or a Scoop rhyme, can one of y'all give me a Dre or Scoop rhyme or line?
I can't
Say which MC said it.
I probably can. I probably can.
Giggity Gads. I don't know whose is whose though. So
you know the
Wait a
lyrics, but who's saying it?
Is this an all-out consensus against Das Effects here?
Nothing
What,
against them, man. It's just
not against
we
just saying
the
it.
one that
There's no hype man in that crew.
we had this conversation before about my thoughts on them. I won the argument against my mother about their lyrics. So
I would like to go back to Red and Meth for a minute.
Okay.
So how I believe they ended up getting together, it wasn't beef, but it was concern at what Def Jam did to them. Back in the days in the source, I can't say the year, but they were running a campaign called Month of the Man. If any of you guys remember
I remember, man.
And it was Redman and Method Man. They didn't even know each other. That's something that Def Jam put together.
Yep.
And so they approached each other and was, and Method Man tells a story. I didn't want Redman to think that I was on his thing, and the Redman had the same concern. I don't know if I would call that a failed experiment because they tour, and they tour together, and for the all intents and purposes, Redman is really an honorary member of Wu because they're that close.
Yeah.
So failed, I don't know about that.
That's
failed.
You know what?
Meaning project wise, as far as listen to replay value. Now, of course, career failed. No, I'm not saying that. No, by no stretch of the imagination. I mean, music collaborating wise, failed.
Failed to deliver the project that we expected or meet the bar that was kind of set before both of them.
Consistently. And they'll probably tell you that. We wanted to do a How High 2. We wanted to do the Blackout 2. The Blackout 2, man, that was a tough listen.
To me, it's hard to say it's a failed experiment though when they did spawn TV shows and movies and whatever else the hell they tours the whole nine. Like, sure, the album didn't live up to expectations, but they're still touring based off that shit. So
but the album, I'm here, brother. I'm not here for the movie. I'm not here for the show with the music. You know what I'm saying? So I hear what y'all saying.
I would agree with you on that. They do
2
sound like it was rushed, that they put the shit out there. Because now that you're saying that, Killer, that they just put the group together, they just put them together as a group.
That sound mismatch.
Def Jam already had the beats ready for them niggas. Like, here, y'all rhyme on this shit. It'll be hot.
Well, no, they didn't put them together. They didn't even know. Def Jam said, we're just going to run an advertisement with just those two guys. It wasn't even a playing group.
Wow.
Def Jam did that on their own, independent of the artists.
Damn.
Yeah, they took control of the situation, basically. That's what it was.
I did not know that. That's
me either.
I remember watching and reading about it live as it was occurring. I used to be heavy nose deep in the Source magazine, so I remember all those rap pages, all the rags, man.
My goodness.
I did want to circle back to something too on Big Boy. I think the reason why he doesn't appeal to me too is the same thing I tell y'all all the time. If I see an MC and I notice you have a very similar cadence every time you rhyme, I'm probably not going to be listening to you anymore. And I think the Big Boy cadence to me sounds too similar on too many songs for me to keep listening to him.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's always used a double time flow. It's kind of predictable, to be honest, man.
I would kind of disagree with that too, but I have to listen to that catalog again. I'm actually giving myself an excuse to listen to their catalog again.
Go in.
Let me know how that turns out, man. I want to know if I'm right.
It won't be a bad that way.
It's easy.
I love that album.
Man.
Actually the album that got me to play the bass.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I learned how to play
that's because the production is just
ridiculous,
just outstanding.
Oh, beautiful.
You guys ever see the documentary on Organized Noise?
What?
You guys ever see that Organized Noise documentary?
I did, yes.
That's
Oh
classic.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did see that.
I love that dog. Y'all all co-sign it.
Of
Oh,
course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a win.
I never saw that. Oh, man.
So in since took it back to like way back hype man, what about Jay-Z?
Gazzo?
Yes, sir.
He was a hype man.
Yes, sir.
He was also a hype man for Big Daddy Kane, if I remember correctly.
That's right.
He was
At least
hype man,
once.
but he
At least once, right?
brought him out there on tour with him.
Right.
Is that
Wow.
when he heard about the tech on the dresser somewhere around there?
Got a good idea going. So the term hype man, are we downplaying anything, or are we just calling hype man hype man?
I
I
think
think
we
I
realized
asked
we used
Bear.
the wrong
Bear started
term.
this.
Man.
Like this is Bear's
Just asking.
It started as trying to get a consensus, a definition, set some
Okay.
criteria, and we never got to the criteria at all.
So
Okay.
what is the like? Ask the full question again so I can understand. Maybe
Well,
I
hell,
can,
I gotta look the damn quick because I forgot what the fuck I said.
I'll tell you about this.
yeah.
Before I ever opened and looked at the thread, I heard about it like somebody threw a grenade in the room. So it was definitely apparently an incendiary conversation.
Yeah, I mean, when I wrote this damn thing, so it was basically I called them not just hype men, I called them side dudes.
Ooh,
Oh,
Basically, what we saying is like
Dude.
that other dude
they
is in the
calling you
group.
next.
So the side dude makes it sound painful.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that part needs to be removed.
Yeah, I didn't name anybody then. I ain't named nobody. You ain't hear no names out of my mouth.
Right.
But you list Sendog, you list who did you list? Who else
Yeah,
did you list?
it was what? What's the criteria, the
Yeah.
definition? What makes the other dude in the group just a side man and not an actual rhyme partner? That was the question.
Flavor
Bonafide.
Flav, yo. Like somebody who is actually, I would think
Yeah.
that somebody who's not rhyming, just on the stage, yeah, and hype and running around, that to me is a hype man. But if you have somebody like Vinrock who is on the album rhyming on every record, it would be
Yeah.
hard for me to call that person a side dude or whatever that
You meant
term is
Bleak.
you're using.
Yeah.
Right. Flavor knew he
Bleak.
was a hype man, and I am the hype man.
Bleak was a hype man. He got an album out there.
Even with his album, he was still a hype man.
He was still a hype man. Yeah, right.
He had
Keeping
He got a football.
my will somewhere.
Anybody on a Destiny's Child not named Beyonce was a hype person.
Yo, Kelly's like one of my 17 ex-wives, man.
And nobody even talk about the original two chicks that got axed, man.
Wasn't they both named Michelle or something weird?
Latoya
Yeah.
Luckett and somebody else.
Yeah, I
Latoya
think it was
Luckett.
Latoya and
Luckett,
something
yeah.
else.
Same difference.
Good album, Latoya. She had a pretty good album.
Did she?
Salt and Pepper. We didn't talk about females. Salt and Pepper. Who's the lead?
I think they're like DOS effects to me.
They were pretty much
Yeah,
equal.
they
Yeah, they're
were
pretty much
equal.
equal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very equal. Yeah, that's very
That's
equal.
the same quiz.
Yo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He going back.
Equal.
Who?
I
Yeah,
would
got
say
that
you-
on the hard drive
I
somewhere.
would
I
say
got that.
I have to go
What
back
did
and
you say?
listen. I'm sure they're about
That'd
to
be
say. I
OG.
said,
Whoever
Finesse and
mentioned it, that'd be
Quiz.
OG.
Yeah, you got finesse.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, sister, soul sister, yeah.
Yo. Wow.
That was killing it.
So I
But-
don't know who actually has really made a real, like a sustainable career of being somebody's side guy. I always will ever yeah, only because I see hype man is a path from too many people, whether if it's Jay-Z to, like I said, Redman, DOS Effects, Keith Murray, is a path for these guys to become. Now, if they were talented enough, they did all right, but you were always going to come up in that same way, for whatever reason, before you got to play on a DJ set, you carried his records. I always will see that sort of as a proving ground. Too many people played the role of a hype man and then became themselves independent of that role.
Flavor Flav.
Look, Flav is like that one guy, you know what I'm saying? Bill Stepney, there's a great interview where he talks about that in the earliest days, and he thinking that they're putting together the rap version of the Clash or something.
I didn't actually come in here.
Chuck D
Oh.
was like, yo, he knew instinctively that we're gonna need something to break up what I'm gonna bring to the table.
Yeah.
You need something to totally, and Chuck knew that, you know, and that's why he's like, no matter what, I'm bringing Flav along. Nothing gets signed unless Flav gets signed. So,
because Chuck knew he was the preacher, and people get tired of the preacher after a while.
Yes, sir.
Preaching to me, let me get something different.
So then Flav is that dude then?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to call Flav the hype man. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Flav is that guy.
He's the original. He's the template. Right? I mean, he's what we all think of first.
Protocol.
Yeah. He's the Genesis hype man, I think, man. And he's not the first. I think he's
not
the
the first. Definitely not the first.
Yeah, but I think he's the best template, or the default template we think of.
The prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
because really hip hop started like that, with niggas hyping up the crowd.
God damn it! The longer this goes,
Busy Bee and all them niggas, that's people that's hyping the crowd.
But the longer this goes, the more names keep popping in my mind. I'm going to say it.
Damn, man.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Florida. Don't do
Puffy.
Definitely a hype man.
Good
a hype man. That nigga can't find the save
I think that's
his
giving too much respect. I think that's giving too much respect. I think that's disrespecting all hype men. I don't know if we want to do that to the hype men, man.
Take that.
He's on stage. He's doing his whatever that shit is he does.
That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate hype man.
Like you said, he can't rhyme to save his life, even with the fucking reference track.
He can have backup
dancers.
dancers.
Not be behind the mic ever.
He can have backup dancer, but he can't have hype man. I'm sorry.
He shouldn't have backup dancer either, yo. Come on.
Backup dancer too, right? My bad.
Come on, man.
Wow.
He ain't dancing better than school.
I would categorize him as a hype man. I would.
I mean, you could say that. I think he's
that works.
The ancestral father of a guy like Khaled. Khaled doesn't have a career if it wasn't for Puffy. I mean, because everything's set for literally zero talent. I mean, he may have organizational talent, maybe a wonderful businessman. As far as music, zero talent, just like Khaled. I think he's an organizational guy, you know. But I mean, wow, yo, he's worldwide known for screaming his name.
All of them.
I mean, wasn't Fat Man Scoop?
Another one.
Yeah, I had a question. Well, Kelly, you brought up Fat Joe as KRS's hype man lately. Oh shit, am I in the Matrix? Oh. In the Matrix.
You good.
We got you.
Okay. All right, you brought up
can't hear himself.
He can't hear it.
I hear y'all now.
Okay. All right.
But you brought up Fat Joe as KRS-One's hype man. Here's a question. I don't think it's really along the lines of the hype man question, but I know Fat Joe, he didn't always write his rhymes. What does that do inside of y'all heads when y'all hear that or think about that? I don't even know if there's a question there.
I don't give a fuck.
The writing, look, at the end of the day, for me, and I think most people, at the end of the day, the writing your own rhymes is going to matter around GOAT territory. Period. That's when it's gonna matter the most. There's too many people out there who haven't written their own rhymes and have had hit records, and that's the music industry. And I think what normal people say about that is true. But one of the last bastions of hip hop that we have to really try to preserve is around GOAT territory. So since Fat Joe was never really considered a GOAT or anywhere near it, it doesn't matter. So
Jealous Wins Envy was a dope fucking album.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
He got a lot of dope songs, period. Albums. He's a genius businessman, and he's a genius when it comes to putting albums together and picking singles and all that. That's why I didn't know how to phrase the question, because I didn't want to disparage Joe at all, because he's definitely got a place in hip hop history.
We can disparage him though if he come back out with them boots on and tight ass clothes.
Oh boy!
Don't do it.
Haven't y'all tried to fit him for a suit a couple of times too? I think I've heard y'all try to fit him for a suit.
He's been fitted for a couple of suits.
Oh yeah.
He's gotten it.
Oh yeah,
now
he's got a full line over there.
There may be a few GRYSKLL folks who don't understand the suit thing. And Q, I don't know if you heard the digest and heard them talk about the suit. You familiar with the suit?
Panda.
The panda.
Suit. Pandering to the younger crowd is that'll get you a suit. Get you some stocks.
Out of pocket. You get out of pocket, going somewhere you don't supposed to be. You pandering, my nigga.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
There's a lot of that going around.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
It's just like
Mhm.
COVID, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
man.
better go ahead and get that motherfucking shit patented, my nigga.
Man, one of the biggest pandas out there. I know it's on the tip of everybody's tongue, but I ain't gonna bring that to the room. But you know, keep moving.
Oh, he gonna be quiet for a while. I know what you're talking about
can't hit some
already.
shit and just walk away. Like, come on, bro.
Nah. We probably say that. That's a bonus round. Ain't we gonna say that one.
Oh,
Alright.
oh.
That means we gonna get in trouble for real. Okay. Alright.
You might have to take the show down, huh?
We ain't doing that, but we might, and we ain't putting up no more apology shows either.
What is that?
Right.
That was
Mr.
hilarious.
Craig G. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
Might end up apologizing.
Yeah.
An apology.
Wow.
Yeah, he said that.
I will say,
end up apology.
That's Mr. West in the building.
That's right.
Wow.
Oh, we bring him up.
Mm.
We're not doing that.
Good call. Good
Not
call.
having that conversation.
I figured that's
we
what he was
gonna
talking
sidestep.
about.
Yes,
Having
sir.
that conversation.
That's a good call.
Right with that line, but yeah, we definitely gonna sidestep
Mhm.
that.
What do you say, She?
I was gonna say, but again, you can kill all the black people you want, dog, all day, every day, and don't nobody have a problem with it. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Been killing a lot of niggas for a long time. too.
I'm not saying they haven't.
Sir.
All I'm saying is you can shoot up the entire block if you want to, and then go act it out for real.
Yeah.
Don't nobody have a problem with it.
And then you can write a record about it.
Yeah.
Don't go to Atlanta with
I'm
that
about to
shit.
say,
Yeah.
unless you
Oh,
want
yeah,
to
not Atlanta. Take that shit over there.
Yeah. Let's take that left. Speaking of over there, Q, there was another somebody that came up in that hype man conversation. It was easy.
Ooh, I was trying to avoid
He
that
was
one.
not a fucking hype man, yo. There's no way he was a hype man.
Oh, man.
He's a
I'm just
manufactured.
mentioning the fact that he came up in the conversation. I'm not saying anything. other
Yeah,
than that.
no, but I explained
Ah,
my position too. Like, Easy-E was the voice of NWA as far as I'm concerned. Like, if you mention to the average cat, maybe on the East Coast, I don't know. I don't talk to people on the West Coast like that. But on the East Coast, when you mention NWA and you mention their albums, it's not straight out of Compton. It's Easy Does It that people talk about.
Yeah.
Shit, for me, it's
He was a manufactured artist, yo. He's not a
That's
hype
fine.
man or a side guy. He's just a manufactured artist
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
because
fine.
of his voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
His
He was
name
a
came
good
up.
idea.
His name came up because Q wrote most of them rhymes. That's how his name came up.
Yeah.
I wasn't the one that brought his name up though.
But Easy
Okay.
said, like, he said it in his song. Ice Cube writes the rhymes.
Yeah, that
I
I
mean,
said.
like,
Yeah.
Ice Cube said that.
Well, right. Ice Cube.
He
said
that was brilliant writing, by the
You wouldn't
way.
let
Brilliant
niggas know that
writing.
I'm writing this shit.
you gonna say it.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Which
I feel like writing for those cats was like a thing that they just handed off to. I mean, DOC was writing rhymes, Dell was writing rhymes for Q. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, they were just throwing raps around. Like, hey, you go,
Ren was writing too over there.
right? Yeah,
Over
like,
here, whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was just kind of, it's just kind of how that squad worked, I guess.
Okay, so
you know, I
How
want to
do we do
explain
it?
something. Like Killer was saying. Go ahead.
go ahead, D. Nah, go ahead, bro.
No, what was you well, I wanted to challenge Sin Dog on T-Bear's list.
Sendog is
And-
a rapper, yo.
Yeah, he's definitely a rapper. I want to challenge that one. And I want to add that, like Killer was saying about getting into the GOAT status. Sometimes, like, people borrow. When you write together, are you ghost writing for someone else? If I give Q a line while we're coming up with a structure,
Nah.
does it only become me writing the rhyme when I say it? Because if the crowd if it doesn't leave the room, then how do you get discredited and somebody else get credit?
Someone coming on here to do their homework? I'm
It's
confused.
like mid. I'm
I
assuming
think
that's
that's
mid
mid,
school.
man.
It's
Oh, that's
not-
mid school. Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Yeah. So,
Got an assignment coming up.
I don't like Demond. Me and you sat down and was like writing a song together and going back and forth on it. I don't see that as
right.
a demerit. But I think that's much different than me coming to you and be like, yo, Demond, here go your verse.
Okay.
For the song. You know what I'm saying? And then you running with that verse.
Right.
You not do it again, like, you know, at some point. So I think a writing session together where your verse is your verse, my verse is my verse is much different than you or I giving the other person a verse or a song or an album.
Okay.
You know
Right. Okay.
And I think that's even okay for situations where it's just I got this concept and I just need your voice. I think that's cool there. I don't think that should work against anybody.
Mid has an idea for a song. I wrote the first verse. He said he was going to write the second verse, but we was going to do it together. All right. I mean, if, you know, it's his song, his vision. So I'm cool with that. But again, I think that's different than Mid giving me a song and then me going off like, one to dial, you know. I think that's different.
that goes into my Grandmaster Caz not getting the respect that he deserves as an MC. But so for me, I think y'all know this though. Like, I don't actually care about who wrote what as long as the song is dope. Like, the end product is all that matters to me. And I feel like there's a lot of people that don't even admit to having shit written for them because we have this idea that
there you go.
Because of how hip hop carries itself, we're so concerned about who wrote what. Like, Scarface actually is on record saying that Jay-Z came through the studio, dropped a dope ass verse off, was like, nah, that's for you, dog, and dipped. And Scarface was pissed off about the fact that the verse was so dope that he didn't even use it for a minute, but he eventually used it. You know, and Scarface to me is a dope fucking MC. He's up there for me.
So,
yeah,
we let's be clear here. So, Killer mentioned earlier that this is only an issue when we get to talking about GOATs. We have argued for a long time about ghostwriting, and we also noticed that there wasn't much chatter coming from some of the legends, so to speak. Right? It was mad quiet on the situation, and that made me at least think like, damn, why are they quiet on it? Because, you know, you're supposed to be, you know, because, you know, y'all are old enough to know that hip hop is not like R&B or pop or country. We don't have people. I mean, they have writers, you know what I'm saying, that are specifically write songs for specific people, that kind of stuff. But hip hop didn't come in the game like that. Hip hop came in the game like, I'm that person who's going to write this dope shit.
That's why I mentioned Grandmaster Caz earlier, though, because he had some rhymes that were floating around that you know, other people got credit for. And MC Lyte didn't get credit for a lot of shit that she wrote. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of did come into the game where that shit was happening. It just wasn't really acknowledged.
Exactly. Because
we didn't have a word for it at the time or whatever it might have been, but it was there. It was definitely
But there are artists, look, it will blow my mind when, because it could happen. It will blow my mind if I hear that somebody wrote a record that Black Thought did. That's why I hold him in such high regard, because his shit's impeccable, right?
You let your girl tell it.
Huh?
You let your girl tell it.
What you got?
I don't buy it.
I'm staying out of this conversation.
He said Dice wrong.
I'm staying out of this conversation though.
See?
Wait,
that's why I said when.
Man. I don't buy it. I can't see it.
But he didn't say anything against it either.
Okay. Get a fact check on that, man. I need the link.
I was gonna say the reason why I can't see it is because Dice doesn't write rhymes that even sound close to what damn,
I can't say nothing else, Kurt.
Black Thought is saying. It's fucking me up that much. Now, how the hell Dice won't even sound like Black Thought?
So why would I even dignify that with a response if I'm Black Thought? That's to you, Demond. Why would I even dignify that with a response?
True.
And two, I think it
ahead.
Qualified. I think that it's just one of those things that, you know, somebody can say something for a different reason, but let's qualify it here. I look, there's rumors, you know, about a lot of legends, okay, but who I'm not hearing from in that case is Dice Raw himself. You know, we hear from Raw, and then Dice Raw says, yes, I wrote X, Y, and Z, and A, B, and C was in the studio when I wrote it, and they can back it up. Until that,
So, here's the other thing. Everybody's not Quentin Miller. Like some cats who do write for other cats, even if it gets called out, they already agreed, like, this is the honor code.
Rakim, Summertime.
Right. Let me let this ride. Right. Right. Let me let this ride. And because people like interviewers and all that shit always try and catch people out there. Like people try to catch Sky Zoo out there all the time. People try to catch Pharoah March out there all the time because they write for a lot of the industry and they have been for a long time.
Right.
It doesn't sound like them, but that's because they mastered the craft of ghostwriting. They know how to sound like the person they're writing for. It's an art.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we might have this idea that there's no possible way that such and such wrote for such and such and such, but at the end of the day, I bet you those reference tapes are out there.
And when we find out, they getting off the ghost list or the goat list.
I'm
out of there.
I have to eat those words. I'll be like, damn, Dice wrote that shit. That's
Kurt. I'm coming to find you and we're gonna eat them together, bro. I promise.
I want some A1 sauce on my shit.
That's a hard fucking sell for the kids, yo. And no disrespect to Dice. Now if they'd have said Malik B, especially 20.
Yeah, there you go.
20 plus years ago, I probably could have.
I thought that was said too, though, but I had to tune her out after this. There was too much saltiness going on, so I just couldn't.
He's very angry.
Malik, I
was trying to mourn, dude. Like Malik was one of my favorite MCs at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a huge Malik B fan. So like he's the reason I listened to the Roots. It wasn't.
You could argue that back then
he was better. Off the top, you could have argued that. When
I'm not arguing shit. It was a fact to me.
Damn. The first album, you could have argued who was better. Dice, I'm not Dice Roll. Damn, Dice on my mind. Malik B or Black Thought, who was better? You could have argued that on the first album.
On the first album, yeah.
I'll tell you one thing I appreciate. I appreciate those, and LL Cool J probably being at the head of the class, who is vocal about his bona fides.
Yes.
Who's saying, you're not going to find the blemish that you may find in others who are quiet, but you're not going to find LL Cool J. Now, has LL Cool J, look, he writes a lot of bad music. You know what I mean?
We are in agreement. All right.
Understatement.
That's right. That's
no
true.
doubt. But but that's all from him. Okay, he's not saying.
He's also giving us classics on the other hand of that.
That is true as well.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, and he culminates that GOAT status where all the way from Melly Mel. I was just thinking about L and how much of a gatekeeper or whatever he is, a conduit from that past, from Melly Mel all the way up to wearing it, being an individual man on stage. And he still does it. High energy, his own shit. Man, you gotta give him that torch. Because he emulates that Run DMC, the way he busts in the room on Crush Groove is the way he's been representing almost ever since.
And I was actually feared.
Right, Fox. Right. When Jay was reaching in the glove,
like, ooh, okay.
Right. When Jay was about to pop him, Jay was reaching in his. Wait a minute, who is this dude? What? Man, love it.
It's funny.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. LL Cool J also represents one of the earliest examples. There are a lot of veterans from the Melly Mel and before era that can't stand L because they said L didn't bite rhymes, but he was biting styles.
Ooh, word.
You know,
I see a message that said LL can end careers. Maybe he could have ended careers, but not anymore.
That brings along a pretty good.
But wait. I'm not. But I just want to say, like, he don't have to still do it now. You don't say like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is old now, so he can't do it now. So what he did in his prime is not relevant anymore. When he was in his prime, he did work.
You talking about nobody was?
We're not talking about.
I agree.
I'm saying he doesn't have the same knees he had then.
But when LL was in his prime,
don't have a writing
even a
bone.
little bit after, people were scared of LL. You
In his prime, yes.
You put your name, put his name in your mouth at your own peril, because he will come after you, and you were scared. People were scared of him.
He was good up until Cannabis when he quit. He was good up until then because he battled anybody. I don't care who you tell.
But even now, do you think anybody would really put their name? I still think that right now, if you came at him, he would come at you.
I gotta call this out though. Hold up. The cannabis thing though, he actually went to prison. You know, I'm not even gonna go there with that story. He went to prison to get hard bars to come back. You know, anyway.
Who went to prison?
Come on.
LL.
What?
He put in some work apparently to get some harder bars to go at Cannabis and some other shit he had going on. I forgot what album it was, but
we need some links, man. We need links.
We need fact checkers on the show.
Fact check, man.
Yeah, man.
You can't come at the GOATs like that without a fact check.
Yeah. Right, man. Don't you ever say that, man.
You can't come out the GOATs without a fact check.
Can you please delete that out the podcast?
We live, yo.
That's
we
a clip.
live.
Oh, man.
That's a clip.
Watch my mouth. My mom might be watching.
Right.
Yo, I did have a question.
For you, Mom.
Yo, a question real quick though about these performers who spit these rhymes from the ghostwriters. Who has done it the worst and who has done it the best?
Puffy. Worst.
Will Smith. Will Smith the best.
I don't know. To me, I think Dr. Dre is the best at it.
I was about to say that.
The question. My question was going to start with who is better between Dre and Easy with spitting somebody else's rhymes.
Dre.
Yeah. Dre.
I don't know.
He was rapping at a time where it was easy to rap.
Easy. I don't know about that, man. Easy's a legend.
Easy is
but Dr. Dre though.
But Dre was offbeat like hell the first album.
Dre sounds like he sounds like he wrote that shit.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
who does? Who sounds like they wrote it?
Dr. Dre.
Sounds like he wrote that shit.
Yeah, it sounds like him. They write it. It's like they write it for him.
Yeah,
like Rakim will sue me. Will Smith may sue me, but when you hear Will Smith on Summertime, it sounds like Rakim.
Yeah.
And you hear Dr. Dre spit anything, I don't care who wrote it, he sounds like Dr. Dre.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the records.
It doesn't matter if it was Snoop, Eminem. I forgot the dude's name off Compton.
Well, he sounds like Eminem though on his records.
I was gonna say when he does the M joints because he does the double time cadence.
Yeah.
So can I just say Dr. Dre is a legend, and whatever he did is dope. Much respect. He's a GOAT.
Not whatever he did.
But Easy,
whatever he.
Oh, D. Barnes would disagree.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
I don't know about the
and another little lady too.
Right, exactly.
World Class Wrecking Crew, dope.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean the World Class Wrecking Crew. That's what he had to do to get where he was. If he hadn't done the World Class, we might not know him. So whatever you do to get to your steps, whatever growth process you have to go through, we respect it because that got you where you are. I would say that Eazy-E though. Nobody else sounded like him. He created a sound that nobody else sounded like. Who else sounded like E?
It's just his natural voice, though.
Right.
But I'm saying, I'm talking about people, spitting up the rhymes or whatever. He created a sound that nobody else had.
But there's a certain thing that goes along with sound. There's a persona that goes along with it. So Dre getting the credit of sounding better over Easy is because he saw Easy do it. You know what I'm saying?
He taught Easy how to do it
a lot later.
He taught Easy how to do it.
Exactly. Right. There's something about him being a part of that process that made Dre smoother with it. But when you saying I got an AK and bitches and hoes, Easy don't say that shit louder. Because he actually doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things I kind of think I like to being on the same level.
NWA. Same level.
Dre never sounds comfortable to me when he's spitting a rhyme. I know Dre always sounds like he's a little bit uncomfortable on the mic. Is that just me?
But Easy was always in his comfort zone.
Yeah, Easy always sounded more comfortable.
Yeah, good point. Always in his comfort zone.
Dre actually gets pulled out of his comfort zone quite a bit, and it does show. But it's still it convinces me that he might have written those, even though I know better. But if I didn't know better, I would be convinced that that was him.
And then we also got to recognize that, again, I think Eazy-E in terms of like the spitting was incredible, and I give it to him. But Dre had to also produce it, make the beats, organize people, and do all that. So if he only spent all his time just working on the rhymes, it would have been a different level. You got to give props to him. He made the beats, he organized people, he pulled people together, he did business stuff. That's a lot.
As a huge Eazy-E fan, like I still listen to Eazy Does It pretty regularly. Saying that what he was doing was incredible was a bit of a stretch. But I hear what you're saying.
You need to stop it, because man, you need to stop because he went to the fucking White House, dude. You know, or even if that was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He brought bone. You know, he did great business.
No, he did great. Yeah.
Influence and impact.
But talking about as an MC though, I'm not talking about all the business shit. No,
can we even call him an MC?
Rapping.
Well,
He's not an MC.
He's not an MC.
Thank you.
With somebody like me,
rapping.
That I'm quite sure, my man back here, we know the backstory on this shit. We know that.
Hold on, Kurt. Hey, Killers, he about to separate the wheat from the shaft.
Yes, I am. Me and I didn't know. You guys should know the background of this too. If you don't, you should look it up. Dre's in there with Eazy, doing this shit 100 fucking takes to get this nigga to sound right. To get Eazy to sound like you heard Eazy sound on them albums, he had to do this shit 100 fucking times to even get to that point. So in my mind, I'm like, how can he? To me, I'm like, Dre is better than him, sounds better than him, because Dre's not. It sounds almost like I can hear it in my head, like him going over it, like, damn, I can hear that shit.
Yeah, Drake does that with everyone though. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, he does that with you. Like, you're gonna do 1,000,001 takes until you're like, fuck you, Dre, I'm out. That's just his way. I mean, that's why him and Rakim didn't work out from what I heard, but.
But for some people, it's a habit. For other people, it's a necessity, right? Yeah. And I think for Eazy, it was
he wasn't a rapper.
He was never
right. But I think that's but if we're giving credit to Eazy for being so.
But that's why I said him being what he was doing was amazing or whatever was a stretch to me as an Eazy fan. Like I know I probably know his album front to back at this point, but. What he was saying was not incredible.
And let's also be honest. He happened like Eazy-E was the perfect thing at the perfect time for that movement. Like a lot of that just had to do with great timing too, yo.
Yeah, definitely.
Because some New York cats didn't want to rap that shit.
It might not have worked the year before. It might not have worked the year later. It was the perfect storm.
Now, again, Eazy. What Eazy gave me as a youth listening to West Coast hip hop, that shit was fucking. I fucking loved it. I lived that shit. I would have my boombox with me, just going to the county fairs and shit, just NWA all day.
Wait, you still got the boombox. So how can Eazy stretch all the way from your youth to now? You say you still play it, but it's a stretch to say how great he was. I mean, the communal effect of Eazy-E has an effect. I'm sorry. I just think it adds more substance than we can probably put our finger on.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. It's a stretch, but you still listening to it. You still got a boombox.
So I think Demar is saying, like, well, what I'm taking is that I don't know how instrumental he was in the whole NWA thing, but that was a movement. The NWA thing was a movement. It was more than just how you recorded the verses or how you spit it or whatever. He created a whole movement. He changed the whole industry. Everything that we're doing right now, not everything, but a lot of what you hear in the radio right now is following that. He changed the whole game.
Well,
so
time out. There were other rappers, MCs from out west that were before Eazy that were doing the same thing. So maybe his voice was the thing that got him over, because he wasn't saying nothing much different than, let's just say, Ice-T or King T or stuff like that.
It was the voice with the beats. It was
it was the perfect thing at the perfect time, yo. This is what it was. And then the intro one was that Yo MTV Raps. Like that just further catapulted the legend. Whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Like
the legend.
I don't think anybody wants to besmirch Easy or his or what he did, but look, he's like my man Kurji saying he's not an MC. So you first and foremost, he's not an MC, but he is a specific and memorable of all time character. Okay.
Right.
Now, whether if that came from his drug dealing past,
like that.
gang affiliation, or anything like that.
Even his death.
Right.
Yeah.
So
wow.
whether if it's easy, that's a one word, easy. Everybody know Flav. These are
It's
once
easy
in
to
a
say it,
lifetime characters that are what they are.
Yeah.
I think you would be doing his legacy a disservice to try to classify him as an MC. He made rap records, no doubt, but there's a lot of guys who made rap records.
Yeah.
You know,
And
my 2 cents on it.
Appreciate
to go back to what you said, Damon.
Powerful.
So,
Very powerful.
you got
Come on, Q.
Oh no. So all I was gonna say to go back to what you were saying about Easy, like yes, I still listen to him because at heart I'm still an ignorant dude that loves that shit.
Oh, come on.
So wait,
But the
why?
average person doesn't still listen to Easy E like I do.
But why was his music ignorant? I didn't see it as ignorant.
Oh.
Hold up.
Well,
Get the fuck out of
we
here.
want to pull up some lyrics.
No, wait. No,
Okay, hold on a second now. Let me
All
give him an out right here. You didn't really mean ignorance. It probably meant to come off like ignorance to me is like stupid. It's saying that somebody's stupid to me. So that's what you mean.
Okay.
It wasn't ignorant.
Lacking knowledge.
It was, right. What he was saying was more realism, more gangster talk that he was saying. It wasn't ignorant.
Right.
Some of that shit was pretty ignorant.
It was ignorant.
Remember,
not ignorant.
for those that don't know
Nasty
me,
shit that nigga was saying. Yes.
We
It
can't
was
front
highly
on that
disrespectful shit. Highly
Yes.
disrespectful.
Ignorant.
Disrespectful shit. There you go.
Take the R's out
She
of it.
swallowed it. Come on, yo.
That's disrespectful and bad. You're right. Disrespectful ass shit is what that was.
Is that better, mid? Oh,
Damn, he gone.
Hey, listen,
He gone.
I'm done with this shit.
but like
Got a first checkout.
for those that don't know Mid though, like Mid is literally a scholar, and he looks at things through a very different lens.
Yeah.
But his thing is about what made it, or like he's big on sustainable community. So he's always looking at the impact and making sure everyone has their voice. So he'll be back on. He probably just got to a subway stop. Or something.
Yeah.
Like, that mug is literally a professor at.
But nah, fuck that. Easy was ignorant as shit.
Say when he gets
Hey, Sean, you ever notice though?
I love it.
That's a
Every
very
time
smart
something like that
too.
comes up, Mid's image is always disdrawn.
Yeah, they give you the perfect chance to shake the screen.
We all said "fuck you, bitch" and kept rolling.
Right.
That's pretty ignorant. B.
Now, there's
I'm
no
not
R.
arguing it. I'm not
Ignorant,
like, I'm not arguing it. I'm just saying, like,
But it was good though.
It was amazing.
But it was
Yeah,
good.
that's NWA as a whole.
Now I'm about to go ahead and drop the bomb in the room.
Uh-oh.
So that you meant Cube was ignorant.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah.
He had some ignorance in there.
I'm
Hell
saying,
yeah.
You have the giving up the nappy dugout, yo. Like,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Happy dugout.
Yeah,
Man.
that's terrible.
Yo,
love
a
that
whole
was-
lot of NWA was ignorant, B. A whole
Yeah.
lot of it. Like I said, if you just pull out the lyrics and pull a Charlton Heston,
All right,
you're
so
gonna be reading a lot of ignorant shit.
Yeah.
that was what I was saying. I was saying that how can Easy be ignorant since he ain't write that shit?
Come on. Thank
Okay,
you.
well that you got a point there.
wow.
He,
Come on.
he just
NWA
performed
was
it.
the ignorant
Right, he's
part.
just an
Yeah.
actor on stage.
Easy, why you wear your pants like that?
Yankee accent, baby. What?
They write that part. Hey, Q, I got
Hey,
something.
Man.
You mentioned
I'm a fan.
you mentioned Cube, and then you mentioned DOC in the same breath. Now, had DOC not been in the accident, who do you think would have walked away with the top tier MC from NWA title between Cube and DOC?
DOC to me.
Wow.
DOC was definitely a better MC.
DOC was
think
like
that's the
10
question.
times better than Cube to me.
Wow.
Okay.
But DOC was on a different level.
Wow.
What happened
Yeah.
when I left? You guys,
We were just talking about how great Easy E was.
Can I just say one thing? I'm
yeah.
sorry. I know that I said something and the man took me off the internet, but I'm back. So I want to just say, like, with Ease, though, you know, one of the reasons why I say he's not ignorant is that I think we had this conversation before, is that Ease was, as I understand it, reflecting the concepts and the ideas and the life of the people around him. So we can't get mad at him talking about the truth. We got to get mad at the things that caused his truth to happen.
I don't think we're mad at him. Nobody's mad at him.
Talking about the fact that he wasn't rhyming on beat and he didn't really love the.
Nah, I mean that ignorant comment, because, like, you know, Ease is the man. So I don't, you know, no offense, Q, man. Just
it's okay. We agreed to take the R off of ignorant and just make it ignorant.
Ignorant.
As long as it's ignorant, we good, right?
Like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't go around slapping bitches. I don't even call women bitches. But
yeah, but
a lot of
That's twice.
I personally think that if you're saying like slapping so and so and da da da, I personally don't agree with that. But I would fight for you to have your right to express what is happening around you, and I would also at the same time make sure that I tell you that I disagree with that, and I would do what I can to interrupt that process so that we can move to a better place.
I mean,
there we go.
Yeah, I already tried to get that disclaimer for you, Mid, when the man came and got you.
All right, you gotta say it for himself.
Oh, I ain't mad at it. I'm just saying I did try to represent for you, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I get you because people take bits of our conversation and twist and turn them. So
that's the way it goes, though, B. That's the way it goes.
I feel what he's saying. Yeah,
sound bites.
Yeah.
Sound bite.
Right. But see how we wrapping Easy up in this ignorant package when he's from a gang called Niggas with Attitude. Nobody pointing a finger at everybody else. It's niggas with attitude already. I remember I got out the car one time, this Pontiac 6000, when these dudes was about to steal some dude's car, and they was playing NWA, the one where they shot some girl or some shit, and Paris had came out. I was bumping Paris so hard. I was like, man, who am I hanging with? You know what I'm saying? So the same way Paris put me on the light, the same way it did make ignorant people come to life. But I see that reflecting things of that nature. But we did smooth it over before you got back, man. So and Q is the angry black man at everything. So yeah, let's not take it too serious.
Nah, Easy is my dude, yo. Like, I love his shit, but I can't yes, I understand he was talking about things in his environment, but a lot of that shit was very first personish.
G already said it. Somebody else wrote it. He just performed it. That's crazy.
Somebody probably Q could have wrote that shit while he was watching Easy do the shit, though. That's kind of easy. That's the kind of cat he was. You know what I'm saying? Like,
now, what's interesting is Alonzo, who played the intricate part of putting all these pieces together, that he never gets credit for. Like you were saying, the backstory, King. The backstory of Alonzo and the amazement that he had of Eazy-E conducting business, like you were saying, organizational skills and all that stuff. I mean, that was a lot. That gave him a lot of respect. Where people were bringing stuff to Eazy. Hey, Eazy, I want a car wash. Wow, get the hell out of here. No. Oh, I want a laundromat. Eazy, reach in, throw you in his pocket, throw you money. So him being that gift horse that mid school is talking about, being resourceful of the reflection of what was going on. I see that. You know what I'm saying? I see that, especially on the West Coast. So
he did it in Ohio too when he went and discovered, or whatever you want to call it, Bone Thug in them. Like he carried that same energy and made a whole new thing.
Yes.
So, like, I'm not talking down about Eazy. I'm just saying a lot of his music was on some, like, for me as a child, and to see the reactions.
A lot of that music was the Dayton Family, CMW, DMW, who else? You know what I'm saying? A lot of them cats, shit, Ghetto Boy, Scarface, man.
Ignorant shit, as far as
man.
As far as the topics that were being discussed.
Bald-headed hoes. What you see,
I understood.
Bald-headed hoes.
That resonated with me. But it didn't make it any less like,
damn, Don Imus.
No, those were nappy-headed hoes.
Those nappy headed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
From Rutgers, as a matter of fact.
But to add on to what you're saying, Q, the dude that put me on to Eazy-E, I looked at him like he was crazy. I said, dude, what the fuck are you listening? Turn this shit off now. Before somebody come down here and hear this shit. Dope, man. Well, I was like, what the fuck is this, dude? Man.
Trying to get us locked up.
Come on now. He ended up being a dope dealer. He ended up getting shot, killed on 109th. His little brother, Boogie, ended up getting killed on 122nd down the hill.
Can't always blame that on music, though, bro.
I was gonna say,
no, I'm not blaming it on music, E. I'm not blaming it on music, E. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm just telling y'all what happened.
So what a lot of people didn't understand about NWA is, yes, or hip hop in general is, yes, they're telling their stories, but it's on us to actually take it and absorb that shit the way we absorb. Some people, they see one element. People like me, I'm like, all right, I see where I'm fucking up right now. Let me go make some different shit happen. And I could see what they were doing as well, because they were making some other shit happen while they were talking this. They were doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that was important.
Yeah. That's important. Yes, it is important.
A lot of people don't pay attention to that. They only see the that. Or sorry, no, they see the this. And they stick to the
that
this.
Is important. You're right.
You're right. That's not important. That's not, there's only so much you can do as an artist to see people, get people to see what it is that you're saying and trying to push them towards. You know what I'm saying? And back then, hip hop wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. Like, we didn't have all the shit that we, like the tools that we have now to say the things that we want to say, how we need to say it. You know,
right.
And we also didn't have the power to do any of that shit. Now we actually have a lot more say in how we carry that message. Back then, we were beholden to some other motherfuckers who were
what do you think about Malice bowing out of the clips for those same reasons that you speak of?
He found Jesus, and I don't know. I'm an atheist, so again, I have no say in that. You know what I'm saying? I still prefer Pusha. So
everybody prefers the Pusha.
Mr. Long Dress, Black Sheep, Slam now.
Yes, they do.
That's interesting. Nobody else had any thoughts on the Malice thing. Why did nobody else have any thoughts on that?
Well, because I think it's quite clear. You're right. I mean, he was saved. He found Jesus, and that was it for him. It was life changing. It was altering. $1 million deals was not going to have him, do that. And actually, I think that says a lot about him.
Yeah.
Too much of hip hop. Too much of hip hop. The end result is the ultimate respect for the bag. No matter what you do, everybody's smart because he got the bag. This person's that girl, that guy, because of the bag. Really? I mean, look, everybody's got to make a living, but I think as men, there has to be some balance and some guidance that goes along with that. Not everything is permissible. You might be able to do it, but is it permissible? I don't know. That's a personal question.
So T-Bear's chair, what you got to say about it? Oh.
The thing that a lot of people probably won't say though is Malice finding Jesus and finding a different path. That's great. I'm glad that he found something that worked for him. But we're talking about music. The music just wasn't as good.
I don't know him well enough to be able to say how nice his rhymes were. That's really honestly why I asked. I didn't know if anybody had.
So again, like I like the shit that's talking about that stuff. Like I listen to I do Griselda. I do all that shit. Like give me coke raps all day because I understand it. It resonates, and the shit sounds dope to me. And a lot of those cats are way more lyrical than they deserve to be, or something. You know what I'm saying? But I can also see
dope.
I can also see like that shit is not helping everyone. It might help certain people who actually hear what's being said and why it's being said. But people confuse a lot of that shit with like the drill and whatever that other shit is, where they're playing that shit up as though it's making them cooler. Like these cats are saying, like, this is what the fuck I'm living through right now. You know what I'm saying? They're drawing attention to things. The same with NWA. bringing attention to things. That's why I loved it. It didn't make it any less ignorant, but it's necessary to
make it sound cool.
And do we give him a little too much credit by we saying they trying to draw attention to things? Because I mean, some of that shit wasn't trying to
not for the drill.
Cautionary tales. I mean, she swallowed it. Wasn't no cautionary tale. I'm sure.
I think the bigger I guess maybe hope or ask is the listener able to differentiate between the art of the music and the realities of life. And I think that's where some of the trouble comes in, because the target audience isn't really us any longer, where we may be mature enough to separate those things. The target audience is probably 6 years older than Cayman.
Younger than Lil Young.
I was definitely young.
I think we all were, but I think it was also a little harder for us to find some of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was not. I've used it before. You know, like think about the symphony, right? Ass was bleeped. And first off, you only heard it during the countdown at night. It wasn't even on the radio during the day. But you know, they bleeped ass in the symphony.
Mm-hmm. Blowfly didn't get no play.
Huh?
Blowfly didn't get no play.
But now
he's like you
can't turn the song on now and not, or the radio or whatever your preferred media, unless it's something that you control. Like it's 90% that. And again, the target audience is
yeah, they aiming at the look of you. Yeah, they do. But shame on them if they're aiming at
shame on us.
No.
Shame on us. Shame on us for not demanding that they give us something different, yo.
Shame on us. We're creating music. We're creating music. Are we not trying to balance the curve? We're creating music.
I'm not saying we didn't create music, but we
us as a whole, bro.
As a people.
We continue to turn that shit on and listen to it. Like not necessarily the 10 of us, but the community at large. Like
that's all. I just want a little credit. I know I'm just messing with you, Chig.
Yeah, to be at the grocery store and hearing the mom and the daughter both talking about WAP is a little disturbing sometimes, yo.
Right. Yeah. They shouldn't be on the same level.
Right.
Be able to communicate, but they shouldn't be on the same level.
Right.
I shouldn't be able to know everything about whoever I'm saying, Lil Baby. Me and your mother and your daughter should notice everything about Lil Baby's life. All of his music. It's like, what the fuck? Really? Y'all both singing this shit word for word.
Being in touch to understand what's being distributed or consumed is a lot different than being a enabler, maybe, for lack of a better term, or maybe even more important, a supporter. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I think that's where the danger comes in. There does have to be balance, but we're not given that balance. Again, I'm saying
no, sir. I have been arguing for years, and I know people will say that nobody listens to radio anymore, but radio fucking exists. Terrestrial radio exists, and at 6:30 in the morning, you get up to get yourself together, and you're listening to shit about drug dealing, fucking bitches, and all that shit. It's 7 in the morning.
Early.
So, but ain't nobody calling the radio station saying, "Hey, get this shit out of here." Nobody's doing that. That's what we're talking about as far as the responsibility. Yeah. Because as somebody said early in this show, other groups are vocal about certain situations. We are not, or maybe for a week, if that long.
Right.
We're so busy trying to survive and deal with all the trauma that we go through in society every day and trying to like make ends meet, that it's tough to put our energy toward, commenting on the music. So,
but bro, that soundtrack is being played all over the place is not for everybody. So those that shit is for, I get it. They're not going to complain at 7 in the morning while they're rolling up or whatever the fuck. But the person who is making lunch for their kids to take to school or whatever the fuck they're doing, and hears that, I can only speak for my life And I have called the radio station and asked, why is this being played? So I can speak for myself, but I'm also not in that category where, that's all I know. I know.
Mr. E. Green, can I ask you? I'm playing devil's advocate, everybody. Devil's advocate. This is devil's advocate, like I'm saying.
I'm used to it. There's Kurt G, King Killer, they do it all the time. I'm ready.
So, but I'm saying, but why is it that when we're trying to look at the channels by which we get our information, we focus on only one? Why can't we? I hate these questions that start with why and whatever, but why can't we only one? We create other ways that we can get information. Why don't we create other radio stations, other channels, other ways that we can have, instead of just having that one station and then someone else is deciding what kind of information is flooding our community? Why don't we get more hip hop digest, more Grayskull, more E Green, instead of complaining about that one right there?
I can tell you why, sir.
You got this?
Yeah, let me get this. Let me just get this little piece, Killer, and then I'll go ahead and let you clean up. Cool?
My man.
You ever heard of this shit called BET?
Yep.
That shit was for us, by us, before FUBU. Okay? And BET was a wonderful conduit for Black people.
Black news.
But guess what? Instead of continuing on, Mr. Johnson got greedy or was persuaded or whatever the fuck to take the check. Bill Cosby, the rumor of trying to buy motherfucking NBC. If you have enough money to fucking buy NBC, you have enough money to fucking start some new shit. So it's not just, what I'm saying is not just the people who we look and call the bottom, so to speak. It's all of it, yo. It's all of it. Everybody is culpable in this. I'm sorry, King Killer. Go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say, I think a more powerful thing for our, and I say us as men, as fathers, it's the individual. It's the individual conversation you're gonna have with your kids. The individual to say, okay, look, I see you rocking a little baby, I see you rocking the future or whatever, but there's, maybe you don't want to play that in front of your grandmother, to put up some life guardrails. Kids, everybody gonna have their own, what they say, just like we listen to NWA or anybody else, to Live Crew, whatever. But I knew enough not to play that in front of my grandmother. And that's maybe enough to have your kids make a decision later on in life, where to, at least nowadays, there's no, and as far as I can see, there's really no guardrails, of any kind. So standard. So I'm not so much worrying about trying to change what Spotify or radio stations or anybody else is doing. They're going to exploit the community because that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
Okay, but what do we do as men and as fathers on an individual level? That changes the community.
Come on. Well said.
Facts,
right?
Real quick,
That's a clip. That's a clip.
Right? We're live, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
That's very true.
Wait, fuck
That's
you,
very
Bob
true.
Johnson. You still owe me money. Continue.
Damn, Bob Johnson owe you money?
Continue.
Yeah, but
He going with that.
He dropped the mic on that one.
okay. Well, we have the second largest BET, the Black Ensemble Theater here in Chicago, original. So since the 70s, so come on home if y'all get lonely out there. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Still black. Still black from the beginning.
And that's what needs to be discussed, is the diversity that does exist, because there are young boys who are spitting fire as far as hip hop is concerned, outside of the typical normal subject matter. There are young boys that we old dudes listen to. All right. Yeah. So it's not like it is not an old versus young thing. It's a choice thing. And they make it look, the labels and the industry make it look so beautiful, so attractive to just do that. Just do what he's doing and you'll get paid.
I agree. That's the normalization. That's the normalization.
That gets ignored though is, so I've been having this conversation with my son for like a couple of years now, since he started deciding that he wanted to rap. And he's into what he calls the fuck shit. Hold on.
That's him.
That's right. You talk about me on
shit about me.
He's like, you talk about me?
Right. Yeah. See, that's that fuck shit talking about me on time.
That's that shit I don't like.
I told you about
Nah, but nah, but God damn it, what was I saying? So, oh yeah, but anyway, just talking about the you know, he asked me about the state of hip hop once upon a time, and then tried to get me to listen to somebody that I would never listen to. But my thing is, a lot of cats, they see a way out of their current situation, which is why we ended up with the Chief Keefs, et cetera, et cetera. Like, so they're not necessarily in the music to make good music. They're in the music to figure out a way out of the fucking hood by getting some money by any means necessary. And I think a lot of people overlook that fact that a lot of this music is bullshit. Yes, but that's all they know how to make. And that's what motherfuckers are paying them to make. They can't do better because they don't know better. Like
I remember hearing somebody come on the Digest show one time saying that, talking about how it's more about us reaching across and having that
yeah,
I think it was Sim City was on with y'all one time years ago.
But that's true though. Like we automatically say fuck them. They're a cancer, yada yada yada, rather than being like, hold up, like let me talk to you for a little bit. Let me meet you where you are. Have this conversation so we can actually see eye to eye and maybe some growth happens. We don't do that.
That sounds easy, but you were young once.
Oh no, it is. I know. That's why I had the conversation with my son, because I know he's on that shit.
Oh yeah.
For me to explain, you know, and so he listens to a lot of other shit now too. Like expand his point of view as far as what he's going to listen to. He still listens to the fuck shit, but he also listens to some dope shit.
But those conversations are a lot easier with your own child versus somebody else's child out there. So I get that point too.
I mean, sure.
I've had a lot of those conversations.
But if we're not actually getting out there to have the conversation and having an open mind enough to even think about having those, like if you see some young dudes out there on some fuck shit, like how many cats are actually out there, like instead of being like, you stupid fuckers and blah, 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 like getting browed.
Well, Q, can I just push back on that? And I think that, for example, Hip Hop Digest, E Green, GRYSKLL is doing that. We're having these conversations, but we're not being didactic and saying
in person though. I'm not talking about it on the internet. I'm talking about like when we actually see the shit happening. How many of us, for whatever reason, we're just like fuck them, like they're fucking up and they aren't going to be shit and keep it moving.
I don't think it's that. I think
no, it's not that.
Speaking for me personally, I think it's a lot of times it's a life choice. Like you're literally looking at that situation and speaking factual, debating whether it's worth it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like me trying to have a discussion with somebody that might not want to have that discussion, and the risk of that being the end of my life, I don't know if I could take that chance. You know what I'm saying? And that's a real concern. You know, so what I mean? I'll speak to anybody that wants to talk. You know what I mean? And I almost prefer that we don't see eye to eye, because then it's not I agree, and we're hopefully exchanging and maybe learning from each other. But yeah, it's you know, not where I live at now, but it's definitely cats in Charlotte. I'm like, if that's what I do, y'all got to do that. Yo, I'm not.
And I guess there are definitely situations that make sense, but I think maybe I'm in an area where I see people enough. If they're in the same spot, there's a familiarity at some point. We're like, all right, you get to the nod point.
Word.
You get to the what's up point. How y'all brothers doing point.
That's good.
Yeah. You know, you can carry that conversation from there. Like I've done a fair amount of that. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it's like, I'll fuck you up, old man. And I'm like, all right, bring it. But see, I gotta let that happen.
One thing I did, like day one, I think it's important to never pander, because you get a good glimpse into what actually may be reaped from the benefits of not pandering. So like day one, my son and my cousins, all the little girls, we're not doing Martin Luther King this year. This your first Black assignment. Let's do KRS-One. Who is that? Okay, now they go to school. Now their friends come back. Now the same people that you're talking about that you got to say what's up to, they grow and they know, like, oh, that's the mind, or they might know you in the community as you are with your kid. Like what King was saying, we can teach our kids, but at some point our kids are going to be in the community. So thinking forward, I made sure he grew up with that. So now he's the attractive or the gate to other guys, and it's true. There's a lot of his friends hang with us, because their fathers are probably bumping baby right now or something. You know what I'm saying? Just at that point, you never know what that dialogue is and shit. So you know what I'm saying? And the thing you said about the drill music, that's a whole different category where they're aiming that music just like it sounds, and it. Yeah, you know, and that's definitely
they're talking to specific people when they do that drill shit.
Right. I love it. Sure. Yeah, we're gonna be over there about 8:30. Get your James Jersey Worthy. You know what I'm saying? Meet you on. Yeah, we sending this and we putting it out right now. You got to listen to that, and that's how it happens. So,
I listen to some of that shit. So like I'm not speaking to anybody, but I can also understand what it is, where it's coming from, who it's for, et cetera, et cetera. But some of it just resonates with me.
Yeah, it definitely
resonates. That's cool. And Q, you're. I think you're at a different point than the 12-year-old down the street. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. You know what I mean? So that, and again, it like you know, like the mom was saying, you know, but my oldest two, you know, we made sure the balance was there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you not to listen to Drake or Soulja Boy at the time. You know what I mean? That was kind of their run. All right, if that's what you do, cool. But yo, let me go and put you on this real fast. Like I remember being in the car and I was playing I forget what Roots project it is, but yesterday I see a bee girl cry, turn around and ask what's wrong. My daughter thought they were saying I seen a big girl cry. You know, she's like, Dad, you know, why they talking? Like, so you know, we kind of talked about it, but you know, that was our intro into it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So in addition to Waka, you know, we had the Roots bumping, we had Mozart bumping, we had you know, Alanis Morissette bump. Like, you know, we was all over with it. But now she DJs more than I do. That's what my daughter DJs for a living. That's her sole source of income. But she can go DJ for anybody. She can do Waka Flocka's party tonight and then be at the White House tomorrow playing a bunch of top stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's the end result. My son collects records from the 60s and 70s. I didn't teach him that. He got me Mad Villain Doom for my birthday. Wow. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Damn. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I said, boy, my guy, how about it? Thank you very much.
My guy. Tell him if he come across a copy of Vaudeville Villain. I need that.
Put in some work for me, young man.
I think one of the things that helps me have a softer spot or something for the younger cats is I was raised by a 17-year-old. Like my mother was 17 when she had me. I call my dad a pedophile, but we're not gonna get into that. But like she actually introduced me to hip hop, and I was exposed to a lot of shit way sooner than I should have been. Like I said, I had the boom box with NWA bumping, and I was way too young to actually get my own NWA albums. That shit wasn't happening. My mother supported all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And she also, you know, like I where she came up, I spent a lot of time at. So the people that I came up with, they were less than wholesome cats, but they were also really good dudes. You know what I'm saying? And so they made me feel comfortable, but also let me into a world that growing up here, I had no business even seeing. You know what I'm saying? But it gave me a different perspective as far as what's possible and the conversations or whatever that could be had in those moments as well. You know what I'm saying? And so like that, so that's why I have a deep respect, and I've also played a large part in the seedier side of people. But I've also gotten myself to a point where I'm separated from that as well. So I see the weird shit that goes on either end. And there's still, like, we all have similarities. Like, these white folks around here, they're just as fucked up. Like, all the white boys around here are the ones selling the drugs. Ain't the three black people around here,
And he gonna have to apologize, and you gonna have to take down this show.
Damn it.
Jeep about to call.
You know damn well you ain't supposed to say nothing about white people on this damn podcast. Oh my God.
Motherfuckers around here, yo.
I apologize, fellas.
You drinking Douce? Is that what you drinking?
They just pulled up out front. They're coming to get me. Thank you, Q.
Oh,
You need to stop bumping that ED and put some poor righteous teachers in your life, boy.
Brand Nubian.
Right. Brand Nubian. So,
I got all of it, yo. I got
Yeah, I was speaking to brand new. I went back and played that all for one on my way to the gym Monday night. Yo, that ended that Mob Deep shit.
Oh shit.
They stand the test, right?
Still sound good.
Yeah.
All for one was kind of weird. Like I remember it was a lot of stuff when I really didn't.
I did a couple of skips with All for One. So
yeah, it did.
I got to revisit that one.
Yeah,
All for One. That's the classic. What?
Yeah,
that's the classic. What?
I agree, but that doesn't mean it was a complete listen through.
Yeah, you had at least 2 skips on that album. I can't remember.
That one of the best albums ever. Brand Nubian.
Yes, it is.
What?
They come
with the shaking the thing.
Nobody's arguing, Mid. Nobody's arguing that. We agree.
Mid.
Gilligan's
Mid.
Island.
Mid. What's good, Mid?
What's up, man?
You definitely from New York City, then.
Yes, I am.
No, okay.
Brand Nubian, yo, when that came out, everybody was wearing the Timbs. Everybody was just like but besides the paraphernalia, it was just like the looking at it's our culture. They put it forth like that's our culture, and they put it forth like it's something to believe in, and like the way of thinking. And after that, for like a little while, people stopped like being violent, or they were, it was people were trying to be more constructive. It changed like the way everybody was like it's still violent, but it was not cool, like and just different ways of thinking, like cipher and the vocabulary, and then people who didn't even know they started, it just changed everything. What else? Sadat X. Sadat X.
Yes.
A lot of the people just kicking knowledge, so they put a whole lot of knowledge into the culture.
Man, is that why it's the golden era then?
I think like Brand Nubian, Sadat X
got shot in the face when that song was up.
Because we had the greatest similarity to balance. I think that was the closest thing to balance back then. Why I would think it was the golden era. That was before the gangster, quote unquote, SH. I'm gonna watch my language.
Yeah.
Gangster SH was pushed to the forefront and given.
He'll say it before you say it. You don't gotta watch it for him. He'll say it before you.
Yeah.
Truth, fact, and truth.
Yeah.
What is SH?
Little man grow up? He's big now.
SH.
Because at some point, King's Son and them just disappeared. Paris, they just disappeared. Or were they not just being pushed to the forefront? Yeah. I mean, I guess that does make it the golden era, that they were part of the era.
Yeah, they were.
It was a lot more balance.
Yes, a lot more balance. Yes. Man.
Enrollment in college was up. Real spit. There were a lot of positive effects from what was happening at that point in time.
Do you remember when Chuck D said 1995 is coming? What? Is the world ending at 95, Chuck? What was going on? I thought it was, and it had this forward thinking. So man, it was waiting for this stuff to drop. That makes it a golden era, because what was in there, poor righteous teachers, what was in there. I think it's shocking that Melly Mel's song still resonates to this day. That message,
Why is it shocking though?
Because it's so well written. It's so well written. And if it still continues to be factual, actual, and able to be pinpointed to like used as to describe what's actually going on at the same time.
But I'm asking why it's shocking, because I mean we could say that for the shit that Huey P was saying, the shit that James Baldwin was saying, the shit.
Probably because there weren't that many
but he ain't
rhymes
rapid
back
though.
then. There probably weren't that many MCs rhymes who stood the test of time that much against the elites. Like,
I like to elect that song as one of the top songs ever. Wow.
Which song is that? Which song is that?
The Message.
Oh, of course.
Well,
And
the record,
and B Street.
the record is in the
National
National Registry anyway. So I mean,
Is what, King?
that record's in the National Registry anyway. So you got that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in the National Registry. Is one of the American all-time classic songs. So the Library of Congress actually manages that recording, or at least it's recognized, by the National Registry.
Okay. Was the first one like
The Message?
The first one is The Message. Is there any other one?
I don't know if their album is in there, but I know definitely The Message is in there.
Wow, that's what's up.
Get in there. I hope The Message got in before Rapper's Delight, right?
That's what I'm trying to say, Shaw. Yes.
What was the Cool Mo D song that predated all of those things? See, my mother introduced me to that shit. Like I said, my mother is the one who introduced me to hip hop.
OD before that.
Oh, that's so dope, yo.
Yes.
But Cool Mo D before that?
No, he wasn't before that. That was before Mo D was.
Sorry, not Mo D. Curtis Blow. God damn.
Oh,
no, Curtis Blow after them too, bro.
No, Curtis Blow was The Breaks. 79.
He saw the break.
That's before The Message?
Yes, sir. The Message was 82.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
The Rapper's Delight was 79 too, right?
Rapper's Delight was 79, yes. Okay. Actually, The Breaks is like a year. It's like summer of 78. And then Rapper's Delight was 79, yes.
That was the first album that I bought.
He's like the curator.
Yeah, so y'all had me thinking, like, am I crazy here?
But no, King Killer used to do this segment on the show. I don't know if you still do the segment. I used to love the segment where he'd give you background on record companies or record labels.
Yeah, the labels, yeah.
Story. I used to love that segment.
It's been a minute since we did that one.
Yeah, man, I learned a lot from that.
But all I know is I turned it off when Kurt G started playing all that old shit.
I know all that old ass music. I was like, that shit just came out 2 months ago. It's not that old. It sounds old.
I didn't have to put it. I'm sorry.
It sound old though.
But speaking of old, my brothers, my digest brothers, we're gonna have to pop out of here in a minute.
Yeah.
I was get all set up for our
shit. We got to get our shit together. I know Killer still got a couple topics he need to get together for our show and shit.
That's beautiful.
Okay,
but this has been great. I'm glad it finally happened.
Yeah. Much respect, man. Much respect,
man.
Y'all open time, man. Anytime y'all want to come through, I mean, whether it's one of y'all, all three of y'all, whatever, any of y'all at any time. You're more than welcome, man. You guys are
open invite.
Got some fatherly invites in here.
They put some respect on his name. I'm talking to all three of y'all.
Hey, T-Bear.
Yo,
one day I gotta have you on, man. We share a soul in car systems, my man.
Okay.
We might have to do that.
About the booming systems, LL Cool J.
Man.
Yeah, you got me.
Actually, so that Mama Said Knock You Out. I was laughing, King Killer, because I actually went to basic training in September of '90. So while I was in basic training, they was doing a huge ramp up, sending cats over to the Gulf. So when I got out of basic, actually I was still in basic, but towards the end you get to go to the commissary. I bought Mama Said Knock You Out on cassette and played that joint until I knew I wasn't going for a minute. But
was that the best LL album?
To me it is, because that shit got me through, boy. I was in that joke annoying.
I think that's
they started talking about accelerating training and stuff. Like, yo, slow down, Slim.
Wait, which album was that? What was that?
Walking with a Panther.
That's not the best LL album. I'll tell you that.
It is to me. I agree. It probably isn't, but as far as I'm concerned, it is. Because
I don't know, man. Marley was all over that motherfucker, though, man.
It is. That shit was hot, though. You're right.
It was a dope album, but I'm trying to think. Was that actually his best album?
I mean,
don't start nothing else. They trying to get.
That's a whole nother show.
They're going into overtime already.
Thanks for joining us, man.
All right, fellas. Yeah, thanks,
sir. One love, y'all. One love.
Anytime, brothers. Anytime.
All right, no doubt.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all.
Wait. For anybody that doesn't know where we are, I gotta say it. I gotta do some promo. We're on Facebook, Hip Hop Digest Show, Instagram, Hip Hop Digest Show. We're everywhere. Hip Hop Digest Show. How about that?
All right.
Respect and love.
All right.
All right, then, brothers.
Thank you.
Podcast.
Green.
You want to tell them about the pod and where the pod's at? I mean, that's where they should. That's what they should find out first, right?
Oh man, well, we do have a 1962 website. If you want to come by and look at our website, everything is there. But whatever platform you listen to your typical podcast, including the Gray Skull joint, you can find us there. We're there. We've been there since 2006, so we're there.
Wait, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Would there ever be a volume 2 to the mix? To the
yes.
Would it be a
yes.
Okay.
The answer is yes. It's just not been talked about, but yes, there will be another one in days to come. Yeah.
I think he was ready for that one.
I don't know if you remember, Kurt G said y'all can do another one whenever y'all get ready. I just ain't.
Yes, that's the point.
Just about to say that.
That's the point.
For me, my brother. Thank you. I was gonna say,
we will be recruiting. We will be
put our
recruiting.
name on it.
Yes.
I'll even get on there and be DJ Khaled if you want me to be.
There you go. There you go.
It's already mixed and mastered, and we will throw them on there and make it a mixtape.
There it is. There it is. And it won't be a friendly game of baseball. I'm gonna leave y'all with that.
Out.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Be safe, man.
Be safe, man. Peace, yo.
No doubt.
All right.
Appreciate y'all.